too surreal. Second breath I took was the pivot and strike, finish the kill. Influenced by might with every sentence reveal. I won't pay back, fuck a dollar bill. Remain calm as the pressure build. Gotta endure until I let this pump whistle at my foes in memory of Emmett Till. I only live to do my master's will. Isupk, motherfucker. Ain't no cowards on this battlefield. Gone astray but made greater. In my return, left to my mistakes. Every error was a lesson learned. Now I don't move unless it get approved. Won't take a step till it get confirmed. On the tape, it was made for our sakes. March like a tank. One step will make the ground shake. My people sick in their head. Lord, let this truth spread like an outbreak and bring hell. Let them crackers can't escape. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I want payback for the scars in the slave memoirs. Till Christ arrive, I can't let it slide. Ignore the lies. The only free will that's before your eyes. It's life or death, nigga, you decide. This heaven was made for me and my fellow. I patiently wait with my eyes on the sparrow. And I pull the trigger while my lips kiss the barrel. For I ever let a white bitch do me like Othello. I want out this wicked life like Romello. By any means, this devil pulling strings like Geppetto. Lay hold on this brotherhood. I swear I never let go. And fuck that silver spoon. Got too much love for the ghetto. Till the score settle. If need be, I die for the cause. Just to hear them angels applaud. And I'm true by every word I say. Cause I know my victory on the way. On it, nigga, walk this way. This life may be hard, but I can't give up. I'm about to go hard and I won't give up. And could you tell me about this God that you feel so much? And why you look so good? Cause it's real, I be walking with the angels. This life may be hard, but I can't give up. I'm about to go hard and I won't give up. Could you tell me about this God that you feel so much? And why you look so good? Cause it's real, I be walking with the angels. Boy, I can't be touched. Came through in the clutch. They hate but they can't doubt us. We princes of the power, what you know about us? Evil all around us, but a nigga straight. I told you I can't be touched. Holy angels walk at my pace. I'm grateful for the words that had me deliver. I'm hungry for the glory, but I ain't eating till I feed my next. One West, what I die for. Attire out the book of numbers. This rifle from the Archangel Michael. My niggas rebels, you can't deny them. It's 144. I be running to and fro with the Allah higher. My youth became soldiers. Ain't no folding or pretending. We in it for the crowns, fuck friends. We want dominion. In the election ascension, I hope I make it through. Give a damn what a bitch think, as long as my niggas know I'm true. Betray your kind to get success. We make it through the eye of the needle, nigga. I'll be his life may be hard, but I can't give up. I'm about to go hard and I won't give up. And could you tell me about this God that you feel so much? And why you look so good? Cause it's real, I be walking with them angels. Boy, I can't be hard, but I can't give up. I'm about to go hard and I won't give up. Could you tell me about this God that you feel so much? And why you look so good? Cause it's real, I be walking with them angels. Boy, I can't be touched.
This for my people, this for my people, yeah, this for my people, this for my people, this for my people, yeah, this for my people. For the white man, 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 for the white man. Painted by the Spanish, did a whole lot of damage. Shit was outlandish, bags got branded. Split up all the families, then shipped across the Atlantic. So many died from the famine. Threw the dead bodies overboard, sharks ate them like salmon. I know you can't stand it. I spit the truth, goddammit. Big business got managed, dig it double back. Came to pick up all the blacks. Whips beat up our back, we never got to relax. Pretend to set us free, but dig it double back without a crack. The type of game that you play, ain't to keep it real, I ain't going for it. Beat a couple court cases, had a warrant for it. Told my mama if I ever did time, I'ma raise up the whole yard. Had my lawyer like, oh Lord, district attorney added more charges. No problem, ain't tripping. Thumbing through the scriptures. Miami said the Lord with your boy, that's a small issue. Bounce back out the rebound. UPK got the heat now. They done let me off the leash now. Teaching in the streets now. A part of Lost Trap South, but it started in the East now. Look, this for my people. This for my people. Yeah, this for my people. This for my people. This for my people. Yeah, this for my people. For the white man, 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 this for my people. This for my people. Yeah, this for my people. This for my people. This for my people. Yeah, this for my people. For the white man, 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 for.
West till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. One west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. All right, Shalom Israel. Let me make sure we Tawab online. 1 second. All right, Shalom Israel. Yabashim Yashabrakatham to the brothers. Shalom Yahweh Shamar Alatab Bashim Yashah to the sisters. We at ISUPK started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group or organization. And tonight is the Wednesday night law class because, you know, it's important that we understand the law, you understand? And, you know, something we would never learn in black leadership inside the Christian church, any blackity black conscious community. We are behind in so many ways because we don't keep the Most High's laws and we don't know how important it is. But thanks to Commanding General Yohana, you know, and all the men in the ISUPK, you understand, who are pushing the truth, God's law, you know, God's laws are getting taught correctly, you know, in the Bible. So we got brothers and sisters waking up, coming back to their culture, you understand, you know, keeping the laws, because the Bible was only written for so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. It wasn't given to any other group or any other nation or any other nationality, any other race. It was only given to the Israelites. And, you know, we can't stress that enough because the laws was written for us. And like I mentioned just a few seconds ago, we're so far behind in everything because we don't keep the Most High's laws. You understand? As a matter of fact, let me pull one quick precept just to prove my point. I'm going to go to Deuteronomy 28 and 1. You understand? Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Most High thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. See, if we would have kept God's laws as a nation, we would be above all the other nations that are upon the face of the earth. But it's clear that we're not above anyone. As a matter of fact, we are so far behind. Well, I'll take that back. You know what so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians are above or ahead of the other nations in? We're ahead in the prison systems. You understand? We're ahead in the murder rate. We're ahead in abortions because we don't keep God's laws. We're ahead in everything negative. It's not that these other nations don't do, you know, don't break any laws or they're not evil or wicked. You understand? It's because we get punished for breaking the Most High God's laws. Because they were only written and given to us. You understand? No one else was given the laws besides blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, man. So it's important that we keep it. And if we kept them, like the scripture says, I'm going to read it again. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently
unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth. So that's going to be the kingdom of heaven. Being above all the nations that are upon the face of the earth, like our oppressor. Our oppressor runs everything. But just imagine if so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians were running everything. You know, the earth wouldn't be polluted. You understand? It wouldn't be high crimes. It wouldn't be abortions. It wouldn't be molestation. It wouldn't be LGBTQ. It wouldn't be, you know, it just wouldn't be disgusting, man. Because like it says in Proverbs, you understand, when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. And I'm paraphrasing it, but when the righteous rule, you know, the people are glad. You understand? Those who follow the Lord are going to be the righteous rulers and rule over everything in the earth under, under Christ, man. So that's what we teach in the Isupk. You understand? To have complete dominion over the earth, man. Because we're going to have the kingdom of heaven if we obey the Most High. So that's why it's important that we understand the Most High's laws and we do the Most High's laws so we can be above all these other nations and we won't continue to die in vain, die for no reason. We're dying over tennis shoes. We're dying over mean mugging. We're dying because of adultery. If we taught God's laws, brothers wouldn't be out here killing each other because you're sleeping with somebody else's woman. You're sleeping with another man's wife. Sisters wouldn't be whores if they understood God's laws. So that's what we're getting into tonight, because it's the law class. You understand? And I have a few things that I want to pull out, you know, a few stories and articles, because one thing that sticks out to me, and if you tuned in yesterday, you know, the Ottawa officer Malak, he taught a heavy class on brotherhood. You understand? Because being brothers is, you know, obeying the laws of the Most High. Loving your brother is a commandment, man. You understand? And he brought it out and dropped it so heavy. And it goes into, you know, what I'm going to go in is showing that the Most High, not only does he want you to be brothers, you understand? We understand this in the UPK, brotherhood. But a lot of people who are in the Christian church don't understand that being racist is not a bad thing. Favoring your own people is not a bad thing. As a matter of fact, that's how all these other nations, you know, come together and able to build, because they value their own people. They're not going to go out and, you know, try to bring everybody in some type of melting pot, or like they say in the Christian church, you know, understand, everybody just needs to come together. Can everybody get along? Can everybody, you know, just, you know, live the Dr. Martin Luther King dream, hold hands? That's not reality. That's not reality, man. Understanding, knowing who you are, your culture, where you come from, your race, that's very important. But for so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, and that Christian church, that disgusting Christian church, teaches you that it doesn't matter. When in fact, that's one of the most important things that you can learn in life, is who you are and valuing your race. But we don't learn that, man. So there's nothing wrong with being racist. And I'm not talking about the racist or oppressor demonstrates, you know, the lynching and the dragging people from trucks. They just hate you just because who you are. You understand? There's nothing wrong with hate, but they don't hate righteously. We hate them, our oppressor, because of the crimes they committed to so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, man. All the lynchings, all the gator baitings that they used small children and fed them to alligators, man. You understand? I remember Commanding General Yohana bought it out a while ago, man. They used to make shoes out of the skin of slaves, man. I mean, how wicked and disgusting can you be? That's not the type of hate that I'm talking about. I don't want to make a skin, some shoes out of a damn oppressor's skin. You understand? But these are the type of atrocities that they have done to so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. And we continue to try to hold on and love them when they have done nothing but hate us. The Bible doesn't teach you to love. And when it's talking about love your neighbor, so like the Bible does teach you how to love. Let me correct myself. But the Bible doesn't teach you to love your enemies. And when it's talking about your enemies or your neighbors or your brothers, it's talking about someone from your tribe, someone from your from your culture, another Israelite. It's not talking about the oppressor. It's not talking about a Moabite, a Chinese, an Ammonite, a Japanese. It's not talking about a Ishmaelite, an Arab. It's talking about someone from your own nation. Those are the neighbors. Those are the brothers and sisters we should value and love. And guess what? That's a law. That's a commandment, man, to love your people, man. So yeah, I want to get off into it, man, because the Most High is racist. So we should be racist like the Most High. And I know this may sound funny to someone who's a Christian and doesn't understand the Bible, because all they do in the Christian church is bang on tambourines, scream and shout. Yeah, they baptize people, naked in front of the whole congregation. They spit loogies in their faces and rub it on your face. They spit loogies in their hand and rub it on your face. That's the type of vile, weird, that's the type of thing, that's the type of stuff that goes on in the Christian church, man. Just straight weird garbage. You understand? That's not biblical. It has nothing to do with the Bible. But loving your brother, loving your sister of your own race is definitely in the Bible. You understand? And we're going to prove it tonight, man. You understand? I want to go to Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31 through 33. And I'm going to read it. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31. Behold, the days come, said the Most High, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. You understand? So the Most High said he's going to make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah, because we broke the old covenant, man. So everyone can't come inside this covenant because they weren't in the old covenant. You have to be part of the old covenant to come inside the new covenant. So, that's all that Christian nonsense that God came to save everybody and everything, whosoever believe. It's talking about Israelites. It's not talking about all these other nations. It's talking about so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, man. So the Lord came to make a new covenant with Israel and Judah, the house of Judah. You understand? Because we broke the old covenant. We were worshiping other gods. We were celebrating holidays that we shouldn't be celebrating like we do today. Like we celebrate Christmas, like we celebrate Thanksgiving, like we all, not the one in that UPK, but I'm talking about our people, like they just celebrated New Year's. Everybody was out having New Year's parties and just having fun, doing every wicked thing under the sun, man. And what was the result to that? A lot of deaths. Because the Most High punishes us for our disobedience. That's why people were dying. I don't know, if no one was paying attention to the news, Facebook feeds, Instagram, people mourning because someone in their family has died. Everyone's catching COVID. Everyone's getting sick. And we just continue to disobey the Most High. We haven't figured out that the answers to all our questions, the answers to all the things that we wonder about are inside the Bible. If we kept God's laws, man, we wouldn't die from COVID, because the Most High cursed this place with COVID because America, for one, is wicked. You understand? And we're here doing everything our oppressors allow. We want that freedom. We want that American freedom to do what you want. Like the Ottoman brought out yesterday, free thinking. We want to freely think. Whatever the hell that means. I'm a free thinker. When in the scriptures, it tells you your heart, the heart is deceitful above all things. Your heart is your mind. If you're a free thinker, man, you're deceiving yourself. You understand? Let me keep reading. Verse 32. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, said the Most High. So the Lord, like I said, we broke the covenant. You understand? We didn't keep the covenant. We wasn't keeping our culture. We wasn't keeping the laws. And the Lord said he was like a husband. He said, I was an husband unto them. You understand? So the Most High is showing you, like, you know, he's giving an example that Israel, the nation of Israel, was his bride, was his wife, and he's our husband. You understand? We were supposed to be one with the Most High. He's using this metaphorically to show you how close and how personal we were supposed to be with him. We're supposed to be one, on one accord. We're supposed to do whatever the Lord wants us to do, not what we want to do. Not go out here and serve other gods and be whores. So we broke our covenant with the Most High. You understand? And through, you know, Yahushua, we have another chance to come back and repent, because he was the ultimate sacrifice and he was the only one that could do it, that can bridge that gap. So we have a chance of repentance. So no, we can't go out here and celebrate holidays. We can't go out here and boat, smoke weed, pop pills, sleep with whores. Women can't go out here and sleep with every man that she wants to, because that's unlawful. And that's exactly what we did in the old covenant. So Christ, Yahushua, came and, you know, redeemed us. You know, he's the reason we can repent. He came and made a sacrifice. You understand? He was killed for a nation of people who just continue and go and do the same thing. Because what we learn in Christianity is what? That you know, God doesn't care what, you know, what you do. We make a ton of excuses instead of just repenting. So we learn that in Christianity, that the Lord loves you how you are. The laws are done away with. He knows my heart. That's not biblical. And if we continue to think like that as a nation, man, we're going to die. The Lord is going to be very displeased with our actions. Because if we love the Lord, we would understand that love is an action. It's not something that you just say because it sounds good. Everyone says that they love God. I seriously doubt it's a Negro alive unless, you know, they're into some, you know, some other nut religion outside of Christianity. They might believe that they're Egyptian, but any Negro that's not, you know, in the conscious community, it is not a Negro alive, man. That's not going to say that they don't love the Most High. Everyone says that they love God. Everyone says that they love Jesus, but none of us show it with our actions. None of us repent. All of us continue to do what we want to do, man. And doing what you want to do is going to get you killed, man. You understand? Verse 33. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, said the Most High, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their power, and they shall be my people. You understand? So it's telling you right here, we broke the old covenant. The Lord is going to make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah, because we broke the old covenant. And he said, but I'm going to read it again. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, said the Most High. I will put my law in their inward parts. This is happening right now
Right.
under Commander General Yohana in the Isupk, man.
That's right.
The laws are being taught right now, and it's men. These laws are being put inside men's inward parts.
That's right.
You understand? So, I know, it's fake Israelites and nuts out there that believe everybody's going to get right magically. They think it's just going to be like abracadabra kazam. Everybody's just going to keep the law.
Right.
That's not what it's talking about. You're not going to be taught the law or have to be taught the law because you're going to have it in your inward parts. It's going to be taught to you and you're going to know it. And then what do we do when new people come into the school? When new brothers and new sisters come into the school, they get taught the law.
That's right.
Then they'll have it in their inward parts. So all those, horrible breakdowns I've heard on YouTube and Facebook, you understand, brothers and sisters talking about that, when Christ comes back, we're all going to be on the same page. We're all going to be on one accord. Where everybody's going to know he's going to iron out all the wrinkles from the misunderstandings. No. We already have the understanding of ISUPK.
Right, that's right.
You understand? So if you broke off of if you're, I don't even know what they call them. If your Israelite leader or your Israelite leader left one west, that's because he didn't never understand in the first place, man.
That's right.
You understand? So, we have to understand that the laws are very important.
That's
and
right.
they were only given to the Israelites. The covenants, the promises, the adoption, everything was for Israel, man.
That's right.
Everything. So, we have to do away with that garbage, man, in the Christian church. What they teach is that God loves everybody. Anybody can come inside the covenant. It makes no sense.
That's right.
Because if he wasn't under the first covenant, and he's saying he's going to make a new covenant with Israel, it didn't say the Chinese.
Right.
It didn't say the Edomites, the Ammonites, the Ishmaelites, the Japanese, the Chinese, the Arabs. It didn't say any of those things. The laws were written for so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, man.
Yeah, right.
And we better start acting like it, man. We better start obeying.
That's right.
We better start obeying and showing our love with our actions. That's what I meant to say. We need to start showing our love with our actions instead of just talking. Because the Israelites, I know I used to be like that. We talk a good game, man.
Right.
We swear we got the coldest mouthpiece, man.
Right.
Well, I got news for you, man. You can't outsmart the Lord.
Right, that's right.
It's angels down here right now watching everything we do, man. And they're reporting to the Most High.
That's right.
Just because we don't see what's going on doesn't mean it's not happening.
Right.
See, this isn't like those fake Israelite groups or the conscious community or the Christian church where, they make excuses and say, well, he knows my heart. He loves you no matter what. Those are just excuses to make you feel good to allow you to keep sinning, man.
That's right.
You understand? So, and it's like I was kind of just to catch you up out of one. I was just going off yesterday because you bought such a heavy topic out yesterday. The class was real heavy, on brotherhood, and also, I wanted to show how being racist is also, keeping the law. Mm-hmm. And well, you have to know that loving your brother is loving your nation. You understand? And we're not being separate, kind of the kind. Loving your nation is, being separate.
That's right.
You understand? So it's nothing wrong with preferring your own people over every other nation, man. Salakia. It's nothing wrong with preferring your own people over every other nation. Because these other nations do it.
That's right.
And they're not going to stop preferring themselves. And just no matter how much we beg and march and vote, they're not going to stop their program. We need to get with the Most High's program and say the hell with what they talking about, man. And keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. And stay separate and love our own.
That's right.
But we don't do that, Adawan.
I know it.
We don't do that, Adawan. So, and I wanted to read this. Hopefully it'll pop up.
I was going to say, I got where you at in the Bible. I got Jeremiah 31.
Oh, kind of the kind. I just wanted to read this. this is what happens when we don't keep the Most High's laws and we want to cleave to our oppressor. And like I read Deuteronomy 28:1 earlier. We would be high above all these nations if we would have kept the Most High God's laws.
Right.
You understand? We wouldn't have all these issues and racism and hate. But because we disobey, we're behind in everything. You understand?
That's right.
I wanted to read this article because, let me go because I don't want to read the whole thing. I just want to skip to the part. Okay, this is an article about some sister. She has a job and she's working, and the people at her job she recorded the people at her job talking about her. She wasn't around, but she left the recorder, and then she put it all on Twitter, and it's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this just shows how the oppressor in your face, man. They'll talk to you, they'll seem friendly, but as soon as you leave, man, they're gonna call you a nigger, Salakia. They don't give a damn about you, man. Hey, I was on, and I seen this billboard, North Kansas City. It was a dentist billboard, and it was all these oppressors. And you got this big 7-foot Jake in the middle. It's some local dentist here. He's there. He got the, that Shaquille O'Neal smile. He got that big Negro smile, and then he got his oppressors all around him. They all hugging on him, and he's in the center. And I just looked up, and and the oppressors pointing at him, and he's just sitting there showing their teeth because it's a dentist. And I'm just looking like, man, these oppressors hate this dude, right, man. These oppressors hate these dudes. And just like Commander General Hunter bought out, what was that, yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
You see all those damn Moabites?
Monday.
Was it Monday? I think it was another one. He did another one.
Last night.
Yeah, Connor the Khan, sir. When the Moabites, the brother that he plays for the Chinese basketball team.
Oh yeah, Khan.
And then he was all outside.
That was Monday.
That was Monday?
Yeah, that was
okay,
Monday.
They must have did a split. Okay, Connor the Khan. And they was all calling him nigger. These other nations, man, listen, they understand what it is to put there and value their people first. Now, I'm not saying we have to stand outside Hoy Hoy Toys chicken and scream gook gook gook.
Right.
I'm not saying that, but it's showing you how even when they have racist rants and they do these things, of course they're gonna come and apologize, but they still have a structure. They still have their culture.
Right.
They don't really give a damn. Okay, they'll say an apology, but then what?
Right.
Then what? That brother's still gonna be playing for that basketball team because he's a slave.
Right.
And we don't own anything. We should have our own basketball league.
Yeah, that's right.
If we kept the laws of the Most High God, if we would have stayed separate, we would have everything. But because we disobey, hell, we think, because a brother gets an NBA contract, we think he's who did we think? We think he's King Tut. We put him on a level, do we? We put him on a level. I just leave it at that. We put him on a level. Huh?
What you was gonna say? We put him on.
No, I was gonna say we put them on a level almost like we put our oppressor on a level. But I thought about it like we don't really even put Negroes on a level of oppressors. We just have that's just pretty much respect of persons because he has he might have some millions of dollars and something like that. But he doesn't really own those Edomites, man. Our oppressor owns the NBA. Like just think about that.
That's right.
All those contracts brothers get, millions and millions and millions of dollars, those are slaves.
Right. It's a book called $40 Million Slave.
Oh, Connor the Khan, sir. Like the Ottawa said, it's a book called $40 Million Slave.
And that's like if I could.
No, please.
That's what it's talking about. It's talking about the athletes, the black and Hispanic athletes that get contracts from these, the four major sports in America: the NHL, the MLB, the NFL, and the NBA. And of course, white people, our oppressor, they all oftentimes associate money with black people as success and as a way that now you're not a slave anymore because you have money, right? And so the book goes in depth and talks about. I haven't read the whole thing, but I know Captain Mashak Mayum. He's brought it out many times before and recommended brothers to get the book and read it.
Kind of one kind.
And it documents the agreement and the deal that Michael Jordan made later on in his career with the Washington Wizards. Remember, everybody was like, "Why would he go to Washington?" And he played for the Wizards. They are horrible.
Kind of.
You know what I'm saying? He's 40 years old. What are you doing going to the Wizards? Well, come to find out, Michael Jordan talked to the oppressor who owned the Wizards, some Russian devil, who owns the Wizards. And Michael Jordan thought, well, I will own the Wizards once I'm done playing for you for these couple of years.
Kind.
And that's the reason he went to the Washington, D.C. And so the devil told him, he said, do you ever think I would give somebody like you a part of this team?
Mm.
And that's what it says in the book. Like, these rich black athletes really think, and our oppressor really thinks, and even poor black people thinks that once you make it to the league, once you make it to the NBA, once you make it to be Patrick Mahomes level in the NFL, you golden. You get a $500 million deal like him, and you good. But they're still slaves. Somebody still tells them what to do, what they can't say. LeBron James, he called Donald Trump when he was president. He called Donald Trump a goddamn imbecile. And they was on Fox News talking about you need to shut up and just dribble.
Right.
Like you can't. Colin Kaepernick still can't even get a job for kneeling.
For a knee.
That's not against the law to kneel for the flag. It's not against the law to sit down for the flag or the national anthem. But of course, because you're black and Hispanic, you have to fall in line and just do what you are supposed to do, which is the reason that blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians, the nation of Israel, have never been able to join other nations. It's never been able to succeed or work out because we could never compromise what is right for money,
right,
for monetary gain. And that blows the mind of heathens. Because in a heathen's mind, I'm just going to eat this shrimp and just shut up because I got a good way of life. The Americans give me a good way of life. I can just put away my Chinese culture and eat shrimp. I can eat pork and whatever the Americans want me to eat. The Samoans do it when they come over here and cut their hair, right? They come over here, they play football like Troy Polamalu, and they'll have to cut their hair out, and they have to blend in with American society.
Right.
But for blacks and Hispanics, it's like, it's a part of you that says, well, damn, I mean, I see the oppression, like Colin Kaepernick, I see the oppression that blacks and Hispanics face every day. I can't just stand idly by and watch blacks and Hispanics getting murdered and go and their what he said was their murderer goes free. I can't do it, so I'm gonna protest and I'm gonna sit my black ass down like every black player should do. And you can't even do that. And white people, racist white oppressors, they look at that and say, well, he's an NFL player, he's making money, like that idiot Candace Owens we was listening to last night. She said it was another video when she was talking about Michelle Obama. And Michelle Obama, she has spoken out many times about racism in America towards black people and how we are about white privilege. And she says, Candace Owens opened her stupid mouth and says, Michelle Obama is privileged. She lives in a big house with Secret Service agents and makes all of that money. She's worth $100 million because in a heathen's mind, and when you start to think like a heathen, in their mind, they think, well, you're making this money, so you might as well just shut up and dribble. Why say anything about your oppressor for your oppression for the people who don't make as much money as you, right, the poor black people? You're making, in their mind, they can't understand it. And that's the reason why black, Hispanic, and Native Indians have never been able to integrate with anybody.
That's right.
It's always failed because we have the laws of God. And we have the wisdom and the understanding and the breath of life from the Most High God.
Damn right. And
because of that, we could never integrate with other nations. It always fails. It failed with the Babylonians. It failed with the Assyrians. It failed with the Egyptians. It failed with America. It failed with Greece and Rome. It has always failed. It always will fail because the Most High God have always made us to be a separate people, a holy nation above everybody else.
Damn right.
And so these nations can understand why, to your point, somebody will go and they make money in the NBA and then they will protest what's going on with black people. And our oppressor, he can't understand it because they are not us. Heathens and white people are not us. They are heathens. They do what they have to do to survive. Blacks and Hispanics can't live like that. We can't think like that because we are God's chosen people.
That's right.
And we have rules and laws, and even being Christian. Like Colin Kaepernick is a Christian. Colin Kaepernick is not in the truth.
Right.
He's a brother in the world. But I do give him credit for being a brother in the world, taking a stand that he has done. He didn't kowtow and kiss the old person's behind to get a job. He simply said, listen, if you ain't going to hire me, no sweat. I'm still going to speak against the oppression for my people. And he has money. You understand?
Kind of
Giving
the
back
kind.
millions of dollars to black kids in California, I respect that. He ain't in the truth, but he's doing something. And the oppressor just sits back and says, he's made all this money, why he don't just shut the hell up? You know why? Because Colin Kaepernick is the child of God. You understand? Black and Hispanics are children of God. The Jewish man is not. They
That's
come over
right.
here and they compromise. They suck babies' penises like they were Joe Biden. They molest children like they were Christians, like they were Roman Catholic. Because they come over here and they just do whatever it takes to be American, not blacks and Hispanics. As much as we want to, we can never do it. Because we are children of God. And God said he set us apart to be holy, which is separate.
That's right.
And we will always be separate, no matter how much legislation Dr. King tries to push. No matter how much voting you try to do, we will always butt heads because we could never eat that bat like a Chinese man. We could never just go and be a homosexual to survive. We can't even think about doing that because we have too much integrity.
That's right.
And the other nations don't.
Damn right. And as a matter of fact, you know, and I don't want to just drop this so heavy. The laws were given only to Israel.
That's right.
And we fight so hard to try to. But before I go there, because you was talking about LeBron James, before I even get to my point, what I was about to say next, you know, looking at how, like you said, the oppressor thinks out of wine. Just because a brother's making millions of dollars, they like, all right, shut up and dribble.
Right.
When LeBron James experienced racism, hell, didn't they spray paint nigger on one of his houses?
Yep, they sure did in California.
They spray paint nigger on the man's house.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to think like that is that's ignorance. And, you know, our oppressor makes excuses for everything. You understand?
Right.
They have an excuse for everything, and that's where we learn that from. And the freedom that our oppressor fights for, you understand, to keep America afloat.
Right.
You understand all that freedom that they fighting for, and when we cleave to our oppressors and fight for that freedom and go and vote, and you know we thinking we're supposed to have the same rights and freedom.
Right.
The freedom that we fight for, if you're an Israelite, it's the same freedom that you know is the reason why we have racism.
God.
That same freedom is why we die.
Right.
That same freedom is why it's drugs in our communities, man.
That's right.
So if you're fighting for freedom and if you want to be an all-American and you think that we're going to come together with these other nations and sing Kumbaya, hold hands like Dr. Martin Luther King said, that freedom is going to get you killed. Because serving the Lord, there's no freedom.
That's right.
You can't do what you want. These other nations wasn't given the laws.
That's right.
Let them be free all they want.
That's right.
But if you're a so-called black, Latino, or Native Indian, you better obey, man.
That's right.
You better obey. Because that freedom's going to kill you, man.
That's right.
You understand? So I want to get off into this. I want to read a little bit of this, man, to show how our oppressor, you know, to show our oppressor's true color, and also to get our people to wake up to separate, man, and keep these laws. If we kept these laws and separate these stories like this, they wouldn't bother us because we would understand that the oppressor's the devil.
That's right.
He's just being the devil. These Edomites are just being devils, man. They just doing what they do. I'm gonna start with this paragraph. It says, despite everyone's efforts combating racism in every type and form, there are plenty of people out there don't realizing the racism as a problem. Unfortunately, racism is still part of our everyday life, and thousands, if not millions of people face racism almost every single day. So, like, you just got this. This is an article in the Charleston Press. I don't know who it's written by.
Should see it at the top.
I know it's at the Charleston Press. This is our local story.
It could be at the end, at the bottom.
Yeah, it might be at the end. But I got this out the news, you know, the news app.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's out of there. But it might be whoever this is, Cindy Carey. But
Cindy Carey, okay. It sounds like an oppressor.
Yeah, but no, that's who probably wrote the article.
Yeah,
I just see the name right there. But, you know, the fact being is that racism is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. So why don't we, as a nation of people, embrace our own and put each other first?
That's right.
like these other nations do. You understand? And that's my point. The Lord commanded us to. He commanded us to be separate, to love each other, love your neighbor, love your brother, which is talking about other Israelites,
That's right.
and be separate. Because every time something, a racist incident happens, we run right back to the oppressor and complain to the oppressor.
Right.
We don't do anything but complain to the oppressor.
Right.
What the hell you gonna call the NAACP?
Right.
What the hell have they done?
That's right.
But run up a bag. Ain't that what they call it? They ran up a bag. They get plenty of money.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Al Sharpton. Salakia. And that brother, he's looking bad. Salakia.
Jesse Jackson look like he ready for the reincarnation.
I think he is, out of wine.
He look like he ready for the reincarnation. Al Sharpton don't look that bad. I think Al Sharpton may be a little bit younger.
Salakia.
But they both, brother, they both being ready for the reincarnation. Lord have his way. What they say, Lord will. Lord will.
Oh, no, they might be clones. They might be getting clones. So,
listen.
No, let me. So like we don't. ISUPK does not believe in clones. I'm just being funny.
If they clone is a coon.
They're right.
The real one is a coon, and the fake one is a coon. They all coons.
God of the God, sir.
Aliens. If there's aliens in space, if there's other extraterrestrial, I know Jake's out there watching. Y'all think that there's some worlds that got other people. In those other galaxies where there's other worlds and planets, if there's such a thing, you are still going to be a nigga at the bottom.
Damn right.
It's going to be green men ruling over you in another planet.
Count of the count.
No matter where you go, these curses are going to follow you. That's in the Bible. So I don't give a damn if you go to Mars, if you go to the moon, like how the goddamn the rich men and wealthy men of this earth are trying to do. Jeff Bezos and what's the other one? Not Bill Gates. Jeff Bezos and the one Elon Musk, the owner of Tesla. They have space programs that's trying to build a second Earth. That's trying to build an Earth on Mars. They're trying to build another America on Mars and on the moon. When you go to outer space, you are still going to be a nigger and a spick.
Right.
You're still going to be the worst at the bottom. You're going to be abused by cops. You're going to be hooked on crack. You're going to be thrown in prison, and you're going to be homosexual because the white man is the devil. The Bible speaks.
That's right.
You are never going to escape the curses of the Most High God, no matter where you go, because you have to obey the laws of God first. That's what lifts the curses. That's what gets you blessings from God. Instead of thinking that you can escape to Africa or move to Wyoming or move to Canada or move to the UK, everywhere you go, you are going to be treated the worst than anybody, more worse than anybody else that lives in that country, on that planet, in that society, because you are God's chosen people and everybody else are not.
Damn right.
They are not God's chosen people. You have to obey the Most High God and stop smoking weed and cigarettes and Newports and getting high and having sex with whores and celebrating birthdays. It is your job and responsibility to do whatever God asked us to do.
That's right.
No. On that clone part, Most High Christ, on that clone. Shit, niggas do think it's clones out there. You still gonna be a coon and on drugs.
So they cloning coons.
Listen, they say NBA Young. Listen, brother, this is so heavy because they say the NBA Young boy, after he got out of prison, they saying, now they saying he's a clone now, brother. He's worse now. If he's a clone, if this NBA Young boy is a clone, he's wearing makeup and feminine.
He's high.
He's out of his mind.
Kind of the kind, sir.
The nigga that went before his original self, quote unquote, so-called his original NBA Young boy, he wasn't wearing makeup. So it looks like the clone is worse than the original person.
Kind of the kind.
So you talking about clones and what's the other one?
Gucci Mane.
Gucci Mane, a clone. He's worse than when he first went before he went in.
Forget about it.
If it is such thing as cloning, which the oppressor is trying to do, which of course in the UPK we do not believe that they have cloned people because they have not cloned people.
Kind of the kind.
But they are trying to clone animals and test on animals and things like that. That's real science. You are going to be worse than what you were before.
Kind of the kind,
because
sir.
anything you try to do, science and going out of space and going to Canada and moving, you're still going to be on the bottom.
Damn right.
You're still going to be a sinner. You're still going to be a Negro and a Hispanic that nobody gives a damn about. You're still going to be number one in COVID, number one in heart disease. Your clone is going to die from heart disease.
Damn right.
From smoking cigarettes. How do I know? because you are God's chosen people.
That's right.
And that's the whole thing with the cloning. I don't know if you noticed that. Black and Hispanic people cling on to the idea of being anything but black or Hispanic. We want to be a clone. We want to be an alien with green eyes and green purple skin. We want to be anything. We want to be Christian and Muslim and Arab. We want to be anything but black or Hispanic.
Right.
Anything but the children of God. Anything but the filthy, disgusting niggas from 24th Street in Michigan. Anything but brothers from 51st and Prospect. We want to be anything other than that. Why? Because of the shame associated with being an Israelite.
That's right.
The shame associated with being Hispanic. Could you imagine being Mexican living in America? Think about how many oppressors hate your guts. The president of the United States called you rapist. How could you ever feel any type of self-esteem if you get spit on every day and abused every day and talked about every day? You are not going to have the correct esteem that you need for yourself. You're just going to be in a depression. You're going to be oppressed and depressed and not even care about who you are or giving you that self-esteem to your children. How could your children even feel some type of way when you're getting called a rapist?
Right.
In a country that rightfully belongs to your forefathers. You're getting called the Redskins when this land was taken from your forefathers. This land is rightfully the Native Indians. And you're called all kinds of epithets, all kinds of bywords and proverbs, but meanwhile, you want to be everything other than that. Embrace being a redskin. Embrace being that filthy Hispanic on the border. You know why? Because you are God's chosen people.
Damn right.
And the Bible said that if you are to obey God, Christ, when he returns and gives us salvation, brother, you are not going to be ashamed anymore. You're going to be proud to be Hispanic. You're going to be proud to be from the tribe of Judah. You're going to be proud to be from the tribe of Benjamin. Could you imagine all of the brothers and sisters from the West Indian Islands when they go over to the UK and then they have the Windrush generation? And those devils over there want to send them back to the UK after their forefathers built up the UK. Imagine the kind of the shame you feel associated with your name and with your skin and with your identity. You can never feel some type of pride about being West Indian, about being a Negro in America, about all the inventions that our forefathers, George Washington Carver, and goddamn the slave that built D.C., Benjamin Banneker. He was a Judite act. George Washington Carver was a Negro.
Right.
How could you ever feel pride about what the accomplishments we've done if every day you see your sons, you bury your sons because they get murdered by the cops? You have to go and post a post on Facebook because you haven't seen your daughter in weeks and months and years. She's somewhere dead in a ditch. Your son somewhere dead. How could you ever feel pride about who you are? You get called a nigga every day in China at a basketball game. How could you ever feel pride about that? This is what's going to help blacks and Hispanics with their pride. Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments.
Damn right.
Because in the law, statutes, and commandments, you will learn that you are the most important thing to God. You may be just a Negro or a Spick or a savage or redskin to your oppressor, but you are royalty to the Most High God. And that is the most important thing on the face of the earth.
Damn right.
I could give a damn if my oppressor loves me. I could care less if the Chinaman calls me a nigger. I could care less if in the UK they have a Windrush. They call the Benjamites all kinds of dogs. They have a name they call the West Indian brothers and sisters that is associated with a kind of dog that they have in the UK.
Good night.
I could care less about the dog they call me. The Most High God called me the Prince of the Power.
Damn right.
And the daughters of Zion.
Damn right.
And you are not going to be ashamed if you kept the laws of God. Because keeping the laws of God restores your pride. It restores your dignity. It restores your integrity and your honor. Keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments.
Damn right. Most High in Christ. And not to go on about the cloning part, but I want to just say something. Not to go on about the cloning part, but, so brothers and sisters understand. You said something real heavy, Adawan. If they cloned you right now, you're going to come back a filthy, disgusting sinner if you're not following the Lord.
That's right.
So think about this, because we get reincarnated or regenerated in the earth.
Right.
So just like when I read in the beginning of the class, Jeremiah 31 and 31 through 33, and the Lord said he had to make a new covenant because we broke the old covenant.
Right.
So what was we doing in the old covenant? breaking God's laws.
That's
What are
right.
we doing in the new covenant? Breaking God's laws. So if you're here on this earth, you were here before.
That's right.
So the hell with cloning, hell, you've been
That's
here
right.
before.
That's right.
And we're still sinning.
That's
We're
right.
still disobeying the Most High, man. I just wanted to make that point about that because I was joking about the cloning, but we've been here before.
That's right.
You understand? And the Lord is allowing us through Christ to correct our error and repent.
That's right.
And if you love the Lord, and if you want to, rule the kingdom of heaven, and if you want all the benefits and all the love that's in the Bible, man, you better obey.
That's right.
It's either you're going to go right or you're going to go left, man.
That's right. That's right.
You understand? Well, let me get some of this article. It says, I already read that part. Earlier this month, a young black woman shared what she experienced while at work, and her story immediately went viral on social media. According to the story, the young black woman was a victim of racism at the company where she worked until she finally decided to quit her job after the incident. So she's been a victim of racism at this job. You understand? Like, think about this, man. It's 2022. Now, I can understand, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, when we were going through, we had to deal with the racism.
Right.
Literally in front of our face. Our grandfathers, great-great-grandfathers, and grandmothers had to deal with the racism. They got called niggers in school and at work.
That's right.
In their face. So here it's 2022, and a young black sister is experiencing racism at work like it's the 1960s, man.
That's right.
So hell, Martin Luther King's dream, we always have to bring up Dr. Martin Luther King.
Right.
Michael, the Playboy.
Right.
We always got to bring him.
OG Mike, that's an old One West phrase.
That's a phrase? You just taught me something out of line.
Nickname we always call
That's
OG Mike.
Well, we have to bring up Orgy Mike.
Right.
Damn near every class when we teach the laws and when we teach brotherhood, because he did the exact opposite.
That's right.
And he's such a statue and a monument or in pillar in the black community,
Right.
not in the UPK.
That's right.
But, or I'm not even going to say in the black community. Orgy Mike is a pillar and a statue in America because he killed black economics. His dream never came true. But
Right.
they manipulate so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians to think that if we just keep loving, if we can just, keep pushing Dr. Martin Luther King's dream, everything's going to be all right.
Right.
Everything's going to be okay.
That's right.
When that is not what the Lord or the Bible was talking about, man.
That's right.
You understand? We have to fight this war spiritually. And how do we do that? Coming back to our culture.
That's right.
Not smoking weed, not getting high, not sleeping with whores, not going to jail, not selling crack to your brothers and sisters, not selling fentanyl-laced weeds to your brothers and sisters. Loving your people, loving your nation, man.
That's right.
That's how we fight this battle. And not going out here collecting guns.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, I seen a brother today. I used to work out with him in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I seen a brother Monday. And, we was chopping it up, catching up. I ain't seen him in a minute.
God.
He asked me what I'm on. I'm like, oh, whoop, I'm in this truth. And I dropped something heavy. But then come to find out he's supposed to be the leader.
Mm.
He's the leader, out of line, of the Black Panther Party in Kansas City.
Jesus Christ.
So I didn't even know that until I talked to the brother, caught up with him. You understand? And then I'm just looking like y'all doing a horrible job, man.
That's right.
The Black Panther Party has done nothing for black people, man.
That's right.
Well, hell, they no different than Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. I mean, they all slept with white women. They all prefer our oppressors' daughters and women over their own sisters. And not to mention, they didn't stop racism
That's right.
like he planned on.
That's right.
Because we're reading about it right now in 2022. A young sister is going to work and have to sit and being tortured by racist oppressors, man.
That's
I'm gonna keep reading out because it's 2022.
Right.
So if you know, I can't make it up. The UPK under Commander General Hanna has only been telling you this for what, 50, 60 years?
Right, that's right.
You understand? So yeah, she experienced racism. Okay, the 25-year-old, an IT graduate, suspected her colleagues that they were talking about her behind her back, and she decided to record them. In one occasion, she left her phone on the table and had gone to the toilet, unaware that she had left her phone on record and was taping their every word. Two female colleagues made racial comments about her leaving her devastated. So it says, I'm gonna try to just go down to the comments. I ain't gonna read the whole thing. According to her, who later uploaded the recorded audio on her social media profiles, her now former colleague said behind her back that black people have a smell about them and don't wash their hair. She allegedly couldn't stand the whole atmosphere at Legal & General's London HQ and decided to quit her job before unveiling the incident with the public. An investigation about the case was immediately launched. So they saying that we have smells and we don't wash our hair. I mean, this is, you know, like the Ottawa said, I don't give a damn what our oppressors think about us. I give a damn about what we think about us.
That's right.
Because they're going to think about whatever they're going to think about.
Right.
They're heathens.
Right.
They're supposed to do that.
That's right.
But guess what? We're supposed to do that.
That's
We're
right.
supposed to prefer our own people, man.
Con.
But we get so hurt because we love our oppressor more than we love our own brothers and sisters.
That's right.
And that's the point why I wanted to pull this article to show that racism still exists. And we always have to depend on our oppressor to fight our battles.
That's right.
Because hell, like I said, why not call the NAACP?
Right.
Because they haven't did a damn thing for black people, man. They sit there and do that, you know, they have their prep speech and they get on camera and talk about all the uncivil, unjust things that happen to black people. Right. They've been saying that since Dr. Martin Luther King has been marching, or even before, man. When are we going to get it as a nation that all the solutions and answers to our problems are in the Bible?
That's right.
Obeying the Most High God's law. Zephaniah 2:1, come ye together, O nation not desired. We got to come together as a nation of people that the Lord wants us to be. Not what the Christian church says, because the Christian church doesn't follow the Bible.
Right.
And then I can't blame a lot of the brothers and sisters who have left the Christian church and who haven't heard the truth. But they just know it's something not right about their Christian church. So you got the Christian church and our leadership, you know, doing a horrible job and making people not even believe in the Bible anymore. Because all the hocus pocus, all the spit in the hands, all the naked baptism, all the child molestation, all the, you know, stealing your tithe money and buying whatever the hell that they want to do, buying prostitutes. That's what goes on in the Christian church. And anybody with any type of sense that can get away, man, I take my hat off to you.
That's right.
You understand? But you have to understand the truth. And the truth is in the ISUPK, man.
That's right.
So leaving the Christian church and going to the conscious community, you just went to the same thing. Because they do the same exact thing in the conscious community.
Yeah, right.
They molest children, they get high, they take your money, and they sit around and talk about how they can solve black problems all day. Same thing.
That's right.
In the Muslim mosque, in Islam, Nation of Islam. You're not going to get the answers unless you really know God's word. And the only way you can really understand God's words is if you're in the Salakia, is if you're in the ISUPK, man.
That's right. Yeah, I'm right.
That's the only way.
Right.
So this sister, you understand, this sister is experiencing racism. And, you know, for the average person watching, we would say, you know, if you're a Christian, what we going to say? That's horrible.
Yeah.
Someone has to say something. We have to show people that this is wrong. We have to show more white people that this is wrong. Let me tell you something. Your oppressor, the so-called white man, they already know this is wrong.
Yeah, right.
You think it's a secret? We've been over here over 400 years being mistreated, being lynched, our children being fed to alligators,
Right.
our sisters being molested. The Native Indians, hell, they almost wiped out our Native American Indian brothers and sisters, the tribe of Gad, whose land, this is rightfully their land.
Right.
The tribe of Isupk, the so-called Mexicans, they have them in the borders, you know, encased, sleeping in dog kennels, drinking out of toilets.
That's right.
You don't think they know what they're doing is wrong? You think we have to educate our oppressor more?
Waste of time.
Man, it's a waste of time. The water out of wine, it's a waste of damn time. But you know what we can do? We can come together.
That's right.
We can prefer our own. We can keep God's laws, and the Lord will be with us, man.
That's right.
Like how the Lord was with us when we left Egypt, man.
That's right.
The Lord was with Moses. You understand? And he did miracles.
That's right.
To show the nation of Israel that he is their power.
That's right.
He killed millions of stinking Hamites so we can leave Egypt, man. Just like he will kill millions of our oppressors. But we have to obey.
That's right.
And please the Most High and quit being selfish and doing what we want to do, man. You understand?
Right.
The Lord's not going to have it any other way. The Lord's not going to have it any other way. But that's it on that article. And like I said, matter of fact, can I get Zephaniah 2:1, Baba Kasha? Salakia. Because we need to come together and not separate.
That's right.
Being separate, being in all these different denominations of Christianity and still saying that you love the Lord, that's not the truth. Being in all these fake Israelite groups and saying that we can have a unity camp even though we don't believe in the same thing,
right.
That is not of the Lord.
That's right.
That's not coming together. That's not doing what the Most High says, man. You understand? You got that out of one? Count of the con, sir.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
So it says, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. This sister that I just read about, she's not a sister that's desired. That's why they're talking about her, talking about she smells, talking about we don't wash her hair. Come on, they wash their hair. Salakia, I don't know what.
They get lice. Your oppressor gets lice.
I wasn't even trying to go in on them out of wine, but.
And they don't take baths. This is something that blacks and Hispanics don't realize because we think our oppressor is our God, is God.
Got it,
so we accredit everything to them when bathing is black culture. Bathing was never, if you go back in time, like if you actually know history, you study history, you would know that those oppressors was living foul in the Renaissance era. That time when the oppressors came out them caves, them Greeks and Romans, like they were living foul. They were living raw. Like they didn't believe in deodorant. To this day, there are countries over there on the eastern hemisphere, on the eastern side of the earth, that don't believe in bathing, that don't believe in deodorant. You can just look this up. There's a pool in Japan or Korea. In Korea, they all bathe together. Everybody gets in a big giant pool and bathes together.
That's disgusting.
Like these other nations, they don't believe in being clean. It's not a part of their culture, which is why you have COVID-19, which is why you have Omicron. The reason you have COVID-19 and the reason you have viruses like the flu and the goddamn swine flu and what's the other one? Scarlet fever and all of these historical plagues that the Lord plagued the earth with is because heathen nations don't wash their hands after they use the bathroom. They don't clean themselves. They eat whatever they want to eat. They eat whatever looks good to them. They eat a bat while the bat is still living and looking up at them and the frog is still croaking. They eat it. They eat everything. They suck down everything. They drink anything. They don't clean. They go days without bathing. That old Ashton Kutcher and his wife, that white woman, Mila Kunis, they both said they don't bathe their kids every day.
Good night.
They bathe their kids probably once a week, probably 3 times a month. And white scientist comes out and says, yeah, you shouldn't bathe all the time. But they calling this sister dirty and don't bathe. They shouldn't have a problem with dirty and not bathing.
Right.
Because they are dirty and they don't bathe. That's not their culture. Those heathens don't bathe, Doc. They don't believe in Chinese. They don't believe in wearing deodorant. I'm not making this up. Like, they do not believe. Give me a good Chinaman from China. From the Wuhan province, from Beijing, from, Nihao. They don't believe in putting on deodorant. They don't wear deodorant. They think deodorant is disgusting and filthy, and they believe it stinks. I'm not making this up. You can ask a Chinese person. They don't believe in it because cleanliness is not the culture and law of the other nations.
Kind of the kind.
Cleanliness is the law and the culture of blacks and Hispanics.
Damn right.
God gave us cleanly laws. He gave us laws of cleanliness. You have to bathe after you have sex. After, the seed comes out of a man's body, you have to go shower from head to toe. Meaning after you have sex, the man and the woman has to go and bathe. You have to clean yourself off. If you're sick, you have to quarantine. You can't come around everybody. You got a cough, stay away. If your children got coughs, stay away. If you got a runny nose, stay away. Like, we are about cleanliness in here because that's the culture the Lord gave to us. Other nations, man, they bleeding out their nose. They got that, after HIV/AIDS hit, they had to put different protocols in place after HIV/AIDS. When the basketball player on the court, if he was to bleed or he get cut, now they start implementing gloves on the hands so you can adhere to the abrasion or the cut that somebody has. Brother, we was doing that back in Israel. We was being clean, having physicians back in Israel that have gloves and protect themselves against bodily fluids. Because we knew that if that bodily fluid gets on us, we're unclean. You can't go to a funeral and then come around us. You're unclean for 7 days. You can't deal with a dead body and come around. You're unclean. Like, the Lord put all these cleanly laws. It's a law of how long it takes for you to let something just sit. You can't just let dirty clothes just sit in the corner. You got to wash those dirty clothes. You got to clean your sackcloth, and you have to clean your body and clean your hair. Like, these laws are our culture. This is what the Most High God gave blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, which is why we are the most cleanly people on the face of the earth. And it's why we are so surprised whenever heathens come out and they say, well, I only bathe once a day. I saw some TikTok the other day, Elisha. Some white girl said, you don't need to bathe. You don't have to wash your arms and legs when you get in the shower. You just got to wash your armpit in your private area. And black people looking on that TikTok, you know how they do reactions. They got reaction videos. And these Negroes looking at Jake just sitting there looking like, what in the hell is she talking about? And that's because they are not us, and we do not have the same rules they have. They can do what they want, but you can't.
That's right.
You have to stay clean. You got to go bathe. You got to wash. Her being dirty is not their problem. It's her being black. That's the problem.
Damn right.
Her being an Israelite. You being dirty, what the hell is they, brother, white men in the oppressors military, if you go and you cross the equator, you are going to do, God, Lord help you. Lord be with you if you in the oppressors military. All of those traditions they have, where you have to go and put on God knows what, eat God knows what, suck God knows what. You doing dirty and foul things all the damn time in the oppressors military. In the oppressors penitentiary, they don't give a damn about those inmates' cleanliness. The oppressor doesn't care about being clean. He's not clean.
Right.
They get lice and legions and all kinds of diseases that won't even happen to black people because we clean.
Sir.
They don't have a problem with this sister being dirty. If she was dirty, I'm not saying she is. I'm sure she isn't. But they just find reasons to say why they hate her. But the real reason is because she's a child of God.
That's right.
Because she's the children of Israel.
Damn right.
They can give a damn if she's clean or not. They want you to be dirty. That's their culture, is to be dirty. But they don't care about none of that. She's a black woman.
That's right.
You're a black man. They don't see the look of death in Michael Brown's face. You're a nigger. That's the reason why he killed you. You're a brother or sister that's on some bus and the cop comes or in some car and they say, we smell weed and marijuana when we pass by. They didn't smell weed and marijuana. You're the children of slaves. The reason your daughters go missing because she's the children of slaves. The reason your sons get murdered by the cops because he's the children of slaves. He's a child of God. He's an Israelite. You understand? He's God's chosen people.
Damn right.
The Mexicans are on the border in cages not because they're rapists and they're bad people. Because they're the children of slaves. Those Haitians are under the bridge in Mexico. Not because they're bad people and they're bad hombres. Because they're God's chosen people.
Right.
That's the reason why you're under a bridge. That's the reason why your daughter goes missing. That's the reason why your son gets put to death. That's the reason why you go in a church and white man comes in and murders 9 of you because you're black and Hispanic. Not because you're dirty or filthy or because you're rapists or bad people. Because you're God's chosen people. That's why the other nations hate you.
Damn right. No, you too wild about it, Most High in Christ, because you dropping it so heavy. And we are God's chosen people, and we need to start doing it and loving each other like the Most High commanded, because that is a law. That's a commandment, to love your people, man. You understand? That's exactly what Yahweh Shah came to show the nation of Israel before he died.
That's right.
Not so you can come out here and hate another brother, hate another sister, so
right.
you can get high, you understand? So you can commit every filthy, disgusting lust that's on your mind.
That's right.
That's not what the hell Christ died for, man.
Right.
You understand? So, yeah. Yeah, you dropped it heavy out of wine. I mean, and it's like you. They talking about their sister. Have you ever been to a trailer park?
Right.
You talking about, that's next level filth.
Forget about it, Elisha.
Salakia, that's next level filth. I mean, I'm gonna be the goddamn landfill in the trailer park is not too much of a goddamn difference.
Right.
Salakia, you been to a trailer park, you see those oppressors in there.
So, like, I give you one better, Elisha. Have you ever been to a rich white man's house? They have maids, Ak. Arnold Schwarzenegger had a maid. They don't clean their house, Ak. In the trailer park, when white people are poor, they don't clean. When they're rich, they don't clean.
Good point.
It's not the culture of your oppressor to be clean. Because we're black and we raised Christian and we slaves, we think the best of our oppressor. We think that they talk so proper. White people don't talk proper. White people are rude. They are absolutely rude, and they are arrogant, and they are pompous, and they are disgusting. They don't speak with a proper tongue. They sound ignorant, just like worse than some blacks in Hispanic. You ever been down to Mississippi in Arkansas? You ever been to Arkansas and heard? You here in Missouri?
Oh yeah,
they can't speak.
They vulgar,
and they're silly, and they're stupid, and they can't talk, and they're very vulgar. They use profanity like it's nobody's business. Those senators in the White House, when the cameras are not on, Joe Biden just called a reporter a son of a bitch. Excuse my French. He just called a reporter a son of a bee. They don't speak correctly. They don't speak like you think. They're not all loving and care. Like we think white people are God, and we think they're everything, and they are not. They're the worst people you could ever imagine. They don't speak correctly. They're rude. They don't clean, no matter if they're rich or they're poor. If they're rich, they're going to hire a Mexican maid to clean.
That's right.
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like Donald Trump, like Joe Biden. And if they're poor, they just don't give a damn because they're poor. They're not going to clean whether they're rich, whether they're poor. They don't care.
Right.
The money does not make the oppressor any better. It makes them worse. I would prefer some stinking devil from a trailer park that is openly racist than some private oppressor who says, well, we love you and open, but then behind closed doors say, this filthy, disgusting, you know what.
Right.
The way the president does. You think Joe Biden loves black people? Go ask Anita Hill if Joe Biden loves black people. He does not love black people. Go ask those brothers in Rikers Island that he threw in there like it was a plague if he loves black men. He does not love black people. He hates black people the same way every one of his colleagues hate black people, because we think some fantasy of white people because of Dr. King and civil rights leaders.
Yeah,
but white people are the worst type of people. They're greedy. Like let me help you out with something else. Black people think that it's so black culture to love gold and silver and diamonds. White people took America for gold and silver and diamonds out. So the white people never conquered lands and nations and raped women and murdered men for gold. They absolutely love gold, Doc. They love money. They love greed. They love wealth.
They own
It's the reason why you're still working during a global pandemic, because they love money. You think all of this is black culture. You are late, so you on CP time. White people are late all the goddamn time, Doc. They are the worst employers. They stink. They're filthy. They're everything you think they are not.
That's right.
But because you think so low of yourself,
damn right,
and because you worship Martin Luther King Jr. and the Christian church, you think white people are God.
That's right.
White people belong under your footstool.
Damn right.
You belong on top of your oppressor.
Damn right.
You belong on top of the Chinese. You belong on top of those stinking Koreans that bathe in a city pool. They bathe together in a pool. You are better than them, man.
Damn right.
You fight for this country. You've died for this country. You've been abused for this country. You've been sacked Your nation has been sacked in the taking of America, in the taking of Brazil, in the taking of Mexico from the Spanish, and the taking of Haiti from the French, from the Dutch, from the Portuguese. You've served this stinking bastard for far too long, Black and Hispanic. It is high time that you wake up out of the sleep that you are in and obey God's laws so you could be over some heathen that eats bats and that has lice. You should be over these people that are over us. But you know why we aren't? Not because we don't bathe, not because, we don't have enough money, not because we don't have enough guns like the Black Panthers thought. We think that having guns and going to war physically is going to save Blacks and Hispanics from our oppressor. That's not the reason why. Because you simply don't stop eating pork. That's why.
That's right.
You know the reason why you can't get ahead of your oppressor? Because you smoke weed. That's why. Because you celebrate birthdays. He can celebrate birthdays. You can't. And this is something that's going to help Blacks and Hispanics. Stop trying to be like your oppressor.
That's right.
The Bible says, envy thou not the oppressor. The more you want to be like your oppressor, the white man smokes weed. Why can't we? Why does black men? How many times have you heard this, Elisha? How many times in prison have you heard that? The white people smoke weed too. And they only get 1 day in jail. They only spend 6 months in jail with probation. I served 15 years for smoking a little weed, for being caught with a little crack. And I got to do 10 years because you're trying to be your oppressor. You're trying to be a criminal? Is that what you're trying to do? You want to be a criminal like him? He's Cheech and Chong. Is that who you want to be? Why don't you go be something better than your oppressor? Why do you have to be a weed addict and a drug addict like the oppressor?
Right.
Why do you have to be a greedy bastard like the oppressor? Why don't you just be the prince of the power? Why don't you go be a daughter of Zion? You know who's whores? Black women are not whores. You know who's whores? Marilyn Monroe. That is who a good whore was. She slept with them.
Sisters try to be like.
Oh my God. That is who Cardi B idolizes. That is who Megan Thee Stallion wants to be like. That is who the city girls envy. Marilyn Monroe. Who's another one? Pamela Anderson.
Oh yeah.
Britney Spears. Miley Cyrus. These was good whores and they're white. But because you think white people are God, you think your sisters are whores. They have nothing on white women.
That's right.
White women will have sex with look up the woman who had sex with the most men in 24 hours. It is a white woman.
Oh yeah.
It is a white woman, not a black girl, not some sister from the barrio. Some white woman from some good family. She had sex with the most people in an hour. Dogs, cats, horses, men, women.
Listen,
that is who they are.
a tunnel.
Everything. Sticking everything in that wretched, disgusting rubbish.
Tunnel to God.
But you think so low of yourself because you're Christian. Commander Junior Hanna esteems his brother daily.
Damn right.
He gives his people a self-esteem that we need, some pride that we really need. Why? How? Because we keep the laws of God. That's how. He wouldn't be able to give Blacks and Hispanics pride if he said that 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons.
Oh my God.
He wouldn't be able to give pride to black people thinking that because you have melanin in your skin, you better than everybody. He wouldn't be able to give pride to black people talking about you're a clone, talking about don't get the vaccine. You know how he gives pride to black people? Through the laws of God.
Damn right.
That's how.
Damn right.
Because everybody else tells you you're somebody else. The Muslims tell you you're Arab. Assalamu alaikum. The Christians tell you to shave your beard and be white and be Egyptian. The conscious community says go be Egyptian and African. Go move to Africa like Marcus Garvey. Only the Israelite School UPK gives you your true identity and tells you you're the children of God. That the Most High God of the earth only loves.
That's right.
Only cares about. Only wants to protect. Only wants to take sides for. Only wants to keep. Only wants to make safe. That is who the Most High God have chosen. You. But you want to be Arab and Muslim and white and Christian and Dogon science and conscious community and all of these garbage beliefs and religions when all you have to do is put on the true identity who you were born as, the children of God, the children of Israel, instead of going to be Christian. Be a black man.
That's right.
Be an Hispanic man. Be a Native Indian. Be a redskin. Embrace being the children of Gad.
Be an Israelite.
Be an Israelite.
Damn right.
And obey the laws of God so that you will be put over your oppressor and your enemies.
Damn right. Out of wine dropped is so heavy. And I'm gonna try to get this out before we end, since I know we coming up on time. And this is exactly going into what the Ottawa just bought out. Loving your own.
That's right.
You understand? Because if we don't love, when you bought it out yesterday, man. If you don't love your brothers and sisters, that's not loving God. You can't love God if you hate your brother and your sister, man.
That's right.
It's impossible. So I wanted to read this article, and if anybody's familiar with this story, it's kind of a new story. You heard of that sister? What's her name? She has a YouTube channel, Tasha K.
I have to see her face.
So anyway, all the sister does,
the one who
all she does is gossip.
Yeah, she talked about Cardi B, and now she got lost. Yes, I have heard about her.
So Tasha K she's a YouTuber. She has a channel, and she just talks about all the gossip and every problem going on. I mean, it's pretty much just gossip.
Mm-hmm.
It's just pretty much gossip. Our sisters backbiting, and so she says some things about Cardi B that end up not being true. So, if Tasha K was in the truth and understood God's laws, and she had a problem with Cardi B, like the scriptures tell you, she would have went to the sister and sister alone.
That's right.
Now, because she didn't obey the Most High, Cardi B is sued her for what, $4.3 million? You see where disobedience gets you?
Right.
You see where slander and backbiting and not being a sister gets you? Or a brother?
Right.
So I just wanted to bring this out. It says, Cardi B breaks down on witness stand during libel trial. I felt suicidal after the YouTuber brutal allegations. So, now Cardi B's no saint.
Right. Of course she's putting on the show.
She's putting on the show, of course.
Breaking down.
She's breaking
She's
down.
her worse.
Now, let's just say that she was feeling suicidal. You understand? She has, I mean, we can go on about Cardi B. I mean, the WAP and all that. That's definitely unlawful. She's teaching. She is a stripper. She's teaching younger sisters and brothers. I mean, she's teaching young men that, to desire whores, and she's teaching sisters to be whores.
That's right.
You understand? So, if she's contemplating suicide, and and she's feeling suicidal off of what somebody is saying, I mean, well, hell, you might want to change some of the things that you do.
That's right.
You understand?
Right.
You might want to change some of the things that you do.
Yeah, right.
Because that's so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. That's a lot of our problems. We hate hearing the truth.
That's right.
It's easier to hear that God loves everybody, that Jesus is going to accept you for who you are.
That's right.
You can whop with 5 men in a night, and you're still going to go to heaven.
Right.
You can sleep with 10 whores in one night,
right.
and God is going to accept you, brother. It's no big deal.
Because he's going to put it in our inward parts.
He's going to put it in our inward parts, and then one day you're just going to get it.
Right.
But for right now, do without wilt.
Right. That's right.
And that's what happens, man. And you can't do what the hell you want to do, man.
That's right.
We can't afford to waste any more time in the Christian church. We can't afford to waste any more time thinking we're in the truth. We can't be lukewarm in this, man.
Right. That's
you understand?
Right.
We can't. We don't have enough time, man.
That's right.
Time is running out, and people are dying left and right because of their disobedience.
That's right.
Now, this whole act with Tasha K is wicked. I mean, it's messed up that she's making a fortune off talking bad about her own nation of people.
That's right.
And exposing things. So-called exposing
they're
things.
Not true. They're lies.
Well, not only with Cardi B, but just she does it with tons of other,
of course.
People. And some of the things might be true that she's bringing out. This is her first time being sued, but hell, what else has she lied about since she's been lying on Cardi B?
And if I could,
please.
I'd be going into the laws of God. That's why God told black and Hispanic women to shut the hell up. Stop trying to.
Oh man, how could I forget
vlog? When I'm gonna do a vlog? Maybe I should do a vlog. Maybe I should. All these black women with these vlogs and these stupid goddamn YouTubers.
Oh,
everybody in Twitter accounts are just talking and running your mouth. All of them are. These stupid women are philosophy majors now. All of them are Sigmund Freud and goddamn Plato and Aristotle, and they all apparently sit around the Parthenon. I guess that's what's going on with
I
black.
guess
and
so, Ottawa.
Because all of them are goddamn stupid and run their stupid mouths. That's why in the Bible it said that a woman should shut the hell up. When am I going to start? Shut up. That's what you should do. You shouldn't start a vlog. You shouldn't do anything. You shouldn't give anybody orders. You should shut your stupid mouth. That's what Tasha K should do.
Damn
you know
right.
what Cardi B should do? She should shut her stupid mouth and stop making music about being a whore. And then she won't feel suicidal. That's what you should do. Everybody should shut up and listen to Commanding General Yana.
Damn right.
That's what you should do. You shouldn't start a vlog. You shouldn't go out and be a goddamn motivational speaker. You shouldn't do any of it. You should shut up and get in order. That's what you should do. We don't need any more vloggers. We don't need any more Tasha K's. We don't need any more motivational speakers. We need more daughters of Zion. We need mothers. We don't need hoes. We got enough hoes in Israel. We need more mommies that's going to sit down and teach a girl how to shut up and close her legs and obey a man. That's what you need.
That's right.
You don't need any more brothers who encourage the type of behavior that Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion behave. We don't need those weak simp men. We need men of God who is going to instill some type of femininity in their daughters, some type of responsibility in their daughters, some type of integrity and a conscience in their daughters.
Damn right.
That's what we need, man. All of this garbage of these vlogs and these YouTubers, every black and Hispanic and Native Indian should shut the hell up and listen to whatever Commanding General Yana says.
Damn right.
That is what you should do.
Damn right. And guess what? If you don't, I just say death's around the corner, man.
That's right.
You understand? So I'm gonna read a little bit of this, man. I'm not gonna read that part. Okay, Cardi B told a federal jury in Georgia on Thursday, January 13th, that blogger Tasha K bashed her on end with lies on her hugely popular YouTube show so much that she felt extremely suicidal. So, what's one thing that we can learn from this? First off, Tasha K knows Cardi B, as the entertainer like we all do, right? But does she know Cardi B personally?
That's right.
Can she call Cardi B and talk to her as a sister? Or are you just spreading rumors and spreading lies because it benefits you, which is so wicked and disgusting and evil, man. We learned that from our oppressor. That's what our oppressor does. What was the TMZ? They follow people and torture and torment people all goddamn day to where the people want to kill them.
Right.
Who the hell has time to be following people with cameras, popping out of bushes, coming out of behind corners to catch somebody? Oh, he's with another woman. I mean, you gotta be. What kind of person do you have to be to even? Hell, I mean, I'm just not interested in what the hell somebody else is doing all goddamn day.
That's right.
I mean, that's just hella salagi. It's LGBT and weird.
Right.
That's the perfect word out of wine. It's weird.
It is.
It's definitely weird. So, for this sister Tasha K to make these allegations about any other so-called any other Israelite, man, anybody, you know what I'm saying? And I want to go to a scripture, Salakia, if I may, Baba Kasha. Can I get Salakia? Bear with me 1 second.
In the Bible, while you find that scripture, if I could,
Counter to
so
counter.
the Bible says, bridle your tongue, and how the tongue is a little member, but behold the fire that it causes.
Counter to
You know
counter.
why? Because of instances like this.
Counter to
Like
counter.
you sisters that's in the truth, please hear me good. Don't gossip about anybody.
That's right.
You shouldn't have anything bad or negative to say about anybody. You should shut your stupid mouth. That's what you should do. You should just shut up. You don't have to say who asking you anything? Who's asking this woman, Tasha K, anything? Who asked her to speak? Who asked her to say anything about anybody? Shut up.
That's right.
Be quiet. Shemai. That is what you should do.
Damn right.
You don't have to talk and make vlogs. Go be Mae Jemison and go to school and be a neuroscientist. Go be an astronaut. You got all this time on your hands. Go be an OBGYN. You know black women die more than African women in third world countries. They die more than a woman in a third world country. Surely black women need OBGYNs. Surely you need an obstetrician, gynecologist to deliver those babies and make sure that sisters' diaphragm and all of that stuff they check when they go to the checkups, it goes well. Surely you need, when black women say they're in pain at a hospital, don't you realize that they say, I think 44% of those white doctors that are majority male or white females, they could care less about the pain that your black wife is in when she's pregnant. That's why so many black women die giving childbirth.
That's right.
These sisters need doctors. They need nurses. Go be a goddamn OBGYN and go devote 15 years of your life to school so you could stop bashing and backbiting some innocent sister who did nothing to you. Who did absolutely nothing to you. Cardi B didn't do anything to you. Surely she needs help, but so do you.
That's right.
You need help.
Damn right.
You should shut up.
That's right.
That's the problem, is that you talk too much. Be quiet. Bridle your tongue. Nobody asked you anything. Don't say anything. That is One West, Doc. For men and women. Shut up.
That's right.
Just be quiet. Salakia.
Nah, please. You doing... So, Salak, out of wine. 1 John 4 and 20. 1 John 4 and 20. That's what I wanted out of wine. And Tasha K is a poor example of a sister.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What she did was disgusting. And she hates black people. You know, she may not really... And Salak, if I believe correct, she's married to a Hamite. She's married to a Hamite. So, you know, she doesn't care about her people. She married a filthy, disgusting Hamite, a fly-swatting Hamite. Cow, bushmeat eating Hamite, man. Right. Bone nose, Zulu, Uba Booba.
Right.
She married one of those, man. And she makes money off slandering her own people. Cardi B, she's from Manessa?
Yes, no, she's Puerto Rican if I'm not
mistaken. So
mistaken.
she's Ephraim.
She's an Ephraimite sister.
So she's an Ephraimite sister.
Or Dominican. She might be Dominican.
She might be
It's either Dominican. She's not Cuban. She's either Dominican or Puerto Rican. So she's either Shemayawan or she's Ephraim.
She's either Ephraim or kind of the kind. Yeah. I thought it was Manessa, but she might be.
No, she's not Cuban.
She's not Cuban. Kind of the kind. So, well, since I don't know her exact tribe, I'm just going to say she's a northern tribe sister.
She's Israelite.
She's an Israelite for sure. You understand? So you got a Tasha K, which I believe is a Judite. You understand? Slandering another Israelite from the northern tribe, you know, possibly Ephraimite. But the whole fact of the matter is that she's making a profit. And our oppressor loves to see this because it causes division, man.
That's right.
You understand? Tasha K is not wasting her time talking about our oppressors.
That's right.
She's not going out and finding what Moabite Chinese is cheating on another Chinese. She's making money and benefiting off her own damn people, man.
That's right.
And that's why it's so disgusting to me.
That's right.
You understand? It should be disgusting to anybody, man.
That's right.
We hate ourselves, man. But the Bible teaches us to keep God's laws and to come together as brothers and sisters and forgive your neighbor, love your brother, love your sister.
That's right.
But we have acts like this, man.
That's right.
And then we all claim we love the Lord.
That's right.
You got that out of wine?
God.
Can you read Baba Kashar?
1 John chapter 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love God, whom he hath not seen?
I mean, and this is so heavy, and it's so important that we realize that, you know, Christianity makes us so selfish.
That's right.
It makes us so selfish, and it makes us hate our nation of people so much
right.
that we can claim that we love the Lord. And then I'm Tasha K, and I can go hate on Cardi B and talk bad about Cardi B. And I've never talked to this sister a day in my life.
That's right.
I mean, that is disgusting, man.
That's right.
And that's what we learn inside the Christian church. Can you read that again from the top, Baba Kashar?
If a man say, I love God.
So if a man say, I love God, you understand? What do they say in their Christian church? I love God. Martin Luther King?
I love God.
Malcolm X?
I love God.
Jesse Jackson?
I love God.
Tasha K?
I love God.
Read on.
And hateth his brother.
Hateth Cardi B?
Hateth his brother.
Read on.
He is a liar.
He is a what?
A liar.
I thought that he loved God.
A liar.
You're a liar if you hate your brother, man.
That's
if you
right.
hate your sister, man.
That's right.
You understand? You're a liar if you hate any Israelite and you say that you love God.
That's right.
T.D. Jakes hates God.
That's right.
What's the other? All the goddamn Christian
That's
pastors
right.
hate God. I can't even. There's so many of them. I don't even want to name them. Emmanuel Cleaver
Right.
hates God. Right here in Kansas City.
Lucas.
Quentin Lucas hates God.
That's
He
right.
hates his brothers and sisters. He hates his people, man.
That's right.
You understand? Because it's like they only come around. They only come around and they're only mentioned when, you know, they're talking about all the negative in the black community.
Right.
That's the only time you hear from these cats.
That's right.
You understand? That's the only time you hear from them. Oh, we're gonna march. What was the other brother's name, man? Brooks. Alvin Brooks. You remember Alvin Brooks?
I remember.
Come on, man. Every time it's something negative, it's a shooting, it's a
Community
killing.
Yeah.
All these black leaders come up and put on this big show
Right.
and give us false hope.
That's right.
They give us Christianity.
That's right.
They don't give us the truth according to the Bible.
That's right.
And that's why we have situations like Tasha K and Cardi B,
Right.
two Israelites from two different tribes hating each other.
That's
Well, really, one, Tasha K hates Cardi B for
right.
sure.
Right.
For you to go out and say she has venereal diseases, and you understand, I understand that the sister, like the Ottawa said, she needs help.
Right.
She's making WAP videos. She was a stripper. She, she said that she used to drug men and rob them.
Right.
She did all kind of wickedness.
But so did Tasha K.
But Tasha K, you're no better than Cardi B.
That's right.
You're a slanderer. You hate your people,
That's right.
and you hate the Most High.
That's right.
And the Lord is not with any of that, man.
That's right.
The Lord is not with any of that, man. And we got to understand it. So-called blacks, if you're a so-called black, Latino, or Native Indian, you better keep the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High,
Yeah,
and
right.
keep your culture and love and prefer your own.
That's right.
Any more else on that, Ottawa?
Con. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen.
So he that loveth he that say that again,
for
Salaki.
he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen.
So for he that loveth not his brother, for whom he have seen, meaning his brothers and sisters right here.
Cardi B.
Cardi B.
She sees Cardi B.
She
every day.
sees Cardi B every day. At least on media, on the TV,
Right.
tweets, whatever. She's obviously studying Cardi B
Right.
because she knows, quote unquote, allegedly so much about her.
Right.
But what?
How can he love God whom he hath not seen?
How can she love God or he love God whom he have not or she have not seen?
Right.
Because we're talking about Tasha K.
Right.
So if you're a brother or sister who's slandering, talking, like the Ottawa says, shut your mouth.
That's right.
And watch your damn mouth, man.
That's right.
If you're a person who's talking and slandering a person, you hate the Most High God because you hate a brother or sister who's an Israelite.
That's right.
You understand? And we must repent. Is that all on that, Ottawa?
Verse 21. And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God love his brother also.
Read that again, Ottawa.
And this commandment, Salaki, and this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God love his brother also.
So did it say it was a commandment?
And this commandment,
This was an option.
this commandment,
We can pick and choose what we want to do.
this commandment.
It said this commandment, man. This is a law.
That's right.
You have to love your brother. You have to love your sisters. You have to
That's
love
right.
your neighbor. You have to love your nation, man.
That's right.
You can't just go up and say you love God and you hate everybody who you see.
Right.
How the hell can you hate something you see?
People.
How the hell can you hate your people
Right.
who you're right here with?
Right.
You've never seen the Most High.
Right.
You've never seen the Most High God, man. You've never seen the Lord.
That's right.
But you can say that you love him
That's right.
and you're hating the people he created,
That's
the
right.
people he chose, the people he told you to love.
That's right.
You're a liar, man.
Damn right.
You're a liar, man. That's it on that other one.
that he who loveth God love his brother also.
So he that loveth God, man, loveth his brother also.
That's right.
That's a commandment.
That's right.
You must love your brother. So if you have any issues with a brother or sister, you need to go to he or she alone. Right. And if that brother or sister doesn't hear you out, you go get counsel.
That's right.
Like the scriptures command you.
That's right.
And once you get counsel, once the generals tell you who's wrong and who's right, let it go.
That's right.
Let it go. Let it the hell go, man.
That's right.
Because the Most High have spoken through the prophets, man.
That's right.
And with that, I'll pass the class to Priest and Officer Malak.
We're the Isupk, start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Ties, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you, give to treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. You have the Feast of Purim coming up February the 14th at sundown. Give that a hand until February 15th at sundown. Then after the Feast of Purim, we'll be having the Lord's 53rd annual Passover in Cocoa Beach, Florida, under Commanding General Yana. All nations and camps are ordered to come together under Commanding General Yana in Cocoa Beach, Florida at the Lord's 53rd annual Passover. And of course, the day after the Passover, sundown starts the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So make sure at that time, before that time, you're preparing to take all of the leavening out of your house. Everybody understand? Remind Akim and Akwaf to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. Boots, shirts, pants, headband, and war scarf. And with that, Imadium, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Imadium Shabbat, Imadium, Barak, Yahaba Shimya Shabrakatha,
Yahaba Shimya Shabrakatha,
Yajamata, dismissed.